Hello everyone, Brent Fikowski here, recapping day one of the Dubai CrossFit Championship. I'm here at the track. We've finished 3 events today. The first event was held at a private beach on the Dubai coastline, and it was a swim and sandbag clean workout. So you had to do 20 sandbag cleans, swim in the ocean. They said it was 150 meters, probably more like 220 meters. And then do 10 cleans, swim that again, 5 cleans, swim that again. The time cap was super aggressive. So the time cap was 15 minutes. And when it was all said and done, only 2 athletes were able to finish, myself and Fikowski, and then only 2 females finished, or maybe only 1. So super aggressive time cap. And the interesting thing was, if you didn't finish, the tie break was sort of where you finished, and there were only like 3 markers, which was basically, did you finish your last clean on the set of 5, and did you get around the second buoy? So there was a massive tie for 3rd, and then another massive tie for like 9th, which was a little frustrating because a few guys that maybe should have come 20th, were able to get 9th, and a few guys that maybe should have come 8th or 7th, were able to get the points associated with 3rd. Not as good for me, but luckily I was able to, let's get back to me, I guess. I was able to finish 2nd in that event. I won my heat. I had a really good race against Lazar Dušić from Serbia. He grew up as a water polo player. He was crushing that event. It was awesome having there for a push. We laughed a bit after the event, and just had a good chat about, oh, remember that, and like that was crazy, and I can't believe you passed me there, and all that stuff. It was really fun having him there pushing me, and I could just kind of feel the pace he was holding. And I only finished 9 seconds under the time cap. Had he not been there, I probably wouldn't have finished under the time cap, because he really made me push. And that's what I love about competition, is that push you get from the other athletes. So first event went great. I tried to hit the sandbags hard, run into the water, recover on the swim, but it turned out I was just swimming as hard as I possibly could every time, and then get out of the water and then do those sandbags as fast as I could again. It was just all out, and I finished and I was pretty dizzy and just super exhausted, and yeah, it was just pretty smashed. So I finished with 9 seconds, and I was like, man, I don't think if anyone else finishes, like, hats off. And sure enough, Fikowski beat me by like 20 or 30 seconds. So hats off to him, beat me fair and square. If I was in the same heat as him, I'm not sure if I could have caught him. It would have been nice to obviously, have the best swimmers all in the same heat, but I don't think it would have changed too much. We didn't know the next event, so they said, we had a bit of a break, went back to the hotel, chilled for a bit, had like a little bit of a nap, and then they said, come to the bus at 2:30, bring everything. So we didn't know where we were going. There were rumors we were going to a track, but no one was really sure, and so I brought everything. I have a lot of bags here. And we got here, and they told us what the workout was, and it was very similar to workouts they've done in Dubai in the past. They've had like a swim ski and a swim bike and a run row that were all the same format. And basically you start, this workout was, you jump on the Concept 2 bike erg and you bike 1 kilometer, and then you run around a track for 1.2K. You bike the kilometer again, you run for 800 meters, you bike the kilometer again, and you run for 400 meters. And so you get 2 scores. So 200 points are up for grabs. Your 1 score is if you can, what's your total time for the entire workout, which took like 15 minutes, give or take. And then your other score is your slowest bike. So basically what you have to do is you have to bike really hard and then still run fast enough, but try and basically keep the same bike time. So what you don't want to do is bike, let's say, a minute 30, and then you come back and you're too exhausted, so you go a minute 33, and then you're too exhausted, you go a minute 35. Obviously, in hindsight, you should have just done 1:35 the whole time, and then that would have made your runs and your total time that much faster, and you still would have got the same split. So that's kind of the game you're playing. But it's really hard to know what that sweet spot is. Like, what is the bike I can maintain while still running pretty fast? And then, as an athlete, you also have the option of, do I just not worry about the bike at all and just try and get a good overall time? And then kind of, get a bad score on the bike. And then in the inverse, if you're a big, strong dude, you got big legs, but maybe not a great runner, you might really hammer that bike and then just walk on the run. As long as you're under the time cap, you can get 100 points on the bike, and then maybe, get basically 0 points on the run. So I sort of tried to play it in the middle. I was talking to my coach, Brute Strength, and Matt Torres, Nick Fowler. Was chatting with them for a long time, trying to figure out what to do. We watched the females go, kind of got some insight as to how that went down, what worked well for them. And then basically I was in the second of 3 heats, so I got to watch one heat of men, and we basically said, okay, like, based on the women, there's going to be one guy that does it all well. Like, he's going to have a pretty solid bike and an overall pretty solid time, because that seemed to be, there was a few females capable of that. And I thought, with my skill set, I'm good on the bike, I'm good on the run, I'm going to be able to do both. So let's figure out who that is and what his bike time is. And sure enough, it was Jason Smith from South Africa, and he did his bike, I think, in 1:33.4 was his bike time. So we said, okay, you're going 1:33.3 on the first one, and then you're going to make sure you do that or faster every other time, and then just run as hard as you can while maintaining that. That was the plan. So I kind of poached his score. Sorry, Jason. Poached his score, and then just ran as hard as I could and tried, obviously use the other guys around me a little bit, but mostly just focus on, internally, like, can I jump back right on that bike after this 1,200 meters and hold that pace again? And sure enough, I was able to. It was super painful. Puked in my mouth a bit on the last 1 kilometer bike to hold that pace, and just held it in. Oh my gosh, this is awful. But was able to hold that pace. So I think my slowest bike was a 1:33.0, which was my first bike, and then after that I was just under that. So that was aggressive, and then I think my total time was 14:45. I have to look, and that was pretty good too. I think Jason Smith did 14:15, and then in the next heat there were some guys that went sub 14, some guys in the 14s. I think I just beat Vellner on the run and on the bike just by a hair. So it's good overall. With that workout, it's really hard because there's a lot of guesswork, right? It's like you have to guess what the field is going to do and then make a guess on what you're capable of that's going to get you the most points in both of those events combined. So, everyone can look back on that event and say, oh, if I'd done it differently, I could have scooped up 20 more points, 50 more points, 100 more points. And some guys made some big mistakes. Some guys went way too hard on the bike. Some guys went not hard enough on the bike. And so there were a lot of mistakes made, and I was, one of the fortunate ones that I had the fitness and I had the strategy that I didn't lose any points, and I think I got some points. So overall, happy with that. Super painful first day, but a lot of fun. Body feels pretty good. Excited for tomorrow, feeling confident about my fitness, so I know I can continue to, push relative to these athletes and have a good showing. And yeah, excited. Right now the teams are finishing up. It's late in the evening here. It's like 8 p.m. The teams are finishing up. Then we're all going to pile into the buses, get home late night. And then I think the only thing we have tomorrow, which is the second day of competition Thursday, is just a 1 rep max clean and jerk, 3 attempts. So I'm excited for that. First time in a competition ever I've got to test my 1 rep max clean and jerk. It's always been the snatch or just the clean or speed clean ladder. So it'll be cool to test the clean and jerk and see where my strength is at, and then see where it's at relative to these athletes after we've done a hard day of training, a hard day of competition already. I don't know where I'm at overall. I think in the top 5 I might be second or third overall, which is great way to start the weekend. Good points, made a little bit of money on that first event, if not maybe one of the other ones as well. So super excited. Yeah, really happy with this first day, and just excited to sink my teeth into the next day. Hopefully I'll get onto the old camera here again tomorrow and talk to the fans and give them a little debrief on how the rest of it went. Go to the Dubai CrossFit Championship, their Instagram and their YouTube. They're doing a really good job covering the events from what I understand. Obviously I'm not watching it, but I've heard good things, that the live stream's good and it's all saved there. So you can go back, you can watch me compete, you can watch everyone else. The girls are crushing it, teams are crushing it. Teams have a 1 rep max snatch right now, so that's cool to watch. It's been great here. It's been a lot of fun. The 2 programmed events so far have been good. The 1 time cap for the teams and the individuals was a little aggressive, which kind of messed things up a little bit. But other than that, it's been really good and really well set up. They're looking after the athletes really well, and they do care about the health of the athlete and the experience of the athlete, which is super important for this growth of the sport, and it's greatly appreciated. So that's it. Brent Fikowski signing off. Thanks so much for tuning in, cheering me on. See y'all later.